This is the video for routine 103 of the Torpedo game. First, it mods the convoy number with 120. That means it's going to go from 0 to 119. Next line says, if it's not equal to 0, go to DC. But if it is equal to 0, that's because it needs to start another convoy. And it needs to know what ship lane to put it on. So it randomly selects, that's what PEC does, from equally likely, which we know is 5, the shipping lane, using as the seed for the probability distribution 1 plus the game number. Well, that ship lane is going to be from 0 to 4. Then it says, well then if it's a new one, the current ship number is 0. Because no ships have gone out on that lane yet for the convoy. Well, down here it sets I to the convoy number, divides it by 20. If it's greater than or equal to 4, it goes to DE. That's down here. But if it's not, it checks to see if I is not equal to the current ship. Then it goes to DE. But if it is equal to the current ship, it drops down here, adds 1 to the current ship. So each time another ship goes out, it goes through this routine. Sets I to the ship index, adds 1 to the ship index. So the next one will have a different index. It adds 1 to the ship total. Remember, it counts how many ships have gone out. Then it mods the ship index with 20. There can only be at most 20 ships on the sea at one time. Actually, it'll never get that high, but it allows for 20. Then it sets this ith 1 to 1, which means it's live now. And then it sets the ship's time to 0. It just started on its trip. Then it sets its direction to the ship lane. See, the value of its rotation is the ship's lane. Then it needs to know what size of ship it is. So, again, it uses the same probability distribution. Equally likely, 5, the same seed number for this game, and then sets a value of J. That value of J is going to go to 0 to 4, multiplies it by 10, and sets that as the ship size. So it's randomly picking what size each of the ships is going to be. Now I've highlighted another section of the routine in green. Here's where it adds 1 to the convoy number. That's the number that's going to go up to a maximum of 119 and then launch another convoy. So every time it goes around, it increases that value. Then it says for I of 0, and way down here it says next I 19, 1 at a time. That means it's going to go around here 20 times for each of the ships that might be live at this time. And the next thing it does is it says if it's not equal to 1, meaning it's not live, go to DI. That ship's no longer in the water. However, if it's still in the water, it says set K to ship rotation. That's what directions it's going. And it sets R to that rotation. Then AB is set to the start position of the particular lane. The ships are traveling on ship lanes. Then it sets S, the size, to the ship time, and then adds 1 to the ship time, because now it's going further. Then it multiplies the time by 3, and then it uses the position of the beginning of the shipping lane and this size value to get vectored to an XY position for where the center of the ship is now. Then it sets Z to 5 because there's 5 points on the ship, sets the size to the ship size of I, and then the R value, it ships to 240. It's readjusting now the ship's direction with the path, and then it does the the dots for the ship, given the size of the ship and where it is, the color 777, which is a light gray, then it does a polyfill to make the ship. But then it does a .O instruction, which will put all the positions for the pattern of that ship into the position in .O for ship X and ship Y. Those are the positions that were used to draw the pattern. And it knows that the highest position for X is ship X plus 2, that X value. Then it wants to know the other end of the ship, and it just says, well, since the ship is symmetrical, just take that difference and find the low value of the ship. This is going to be used for the interception. If the ship got hit by a torpedo, this is its X values. If X is now less than 1030, it goes to DI. But if it's greater than 1030, this ship has sailed off the sea, so it sets ship live for the I ship to 0, meaning it's no longer alive. That's how the ships go away, or they're torpedoed. Now I've highlighted the last instructions of this routine. And it's fairly simple what's going to happen here. It's setting XY values for a polygon, and then saying get the dots for the polygon, color it yellowish color, and make it. Do the polyfill. And then it's going to do another one. Exact same idea, and draw the polyfill. Well, I'm going to show you what it's doing here by executing the program. What it's doing is this yellow rectangle off to the side here, and the other ones to the side here. Notice when the ships don't sail out of here, but actually they do, but then this yellow triangle covers them up. Same thing happening here. The ships can't be over here, even though they're actually drawn over here, but they don't materialize until they hit the sea, because this yellow triangle was put on top of them. Alright, this is the end of this routine for torpedo.